How's it going, everybody? It's High Sights Shadow Games Report. Doing part 15 of Destiny 2 tonight. Kind of had like a, I don't know, every Friday or every other Friday I'll end up playing Destiny or something. I don't know why that is. I guess Destiny is my kickback game. Something to just kind of like, I don't know, not try too hard, but also have a little bit of a challenge. Destiny is kind of an odd game like that. It's like, I don't know, the difficulty is not there half the time, but whenever you get to like one of those areas, like it's really there. And it's fun for some reason. I don't know why. Like I don't even understand the story. It must be why the reviews on all of the expansions for Destiny 2 are like horrible. But obviously people enjoy it. I mean, why would you play it? I enjoy it. I have no idea what the hell's going on in the game, but, you know, I enjoy it. It's not many games like that. I feel like one of the game series that was kind of similar to that was like Final Fantasy. It's like you had no idea what the hell was going on in half the series, but it looks cool, it's fun, you like the characters. But anyways, we are going to do about an hour and a half of news before we get into the game. Don't want to talk for too long. I like to ramble sometimes. I definitely was rambling last night. I got caught up on a little bit of sleep, so hopefully we won't be lingering in my thoughts as long as I did the past couple nights. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump on into it. Let's get into the headlines. Pakistani national convicted in IRGC plot to assassinate Trump. Trump unveils cyber strategy with 6 pillars and executive order. Yeah, it kind of just looks like more surveillance and more, I don't know, more cracking down on Americans, their free speech towards this whole situation with Iran and Israel, and now Trump is calling everybody anti-Semitic, even calling Congress anti-Semitic. Just it's completely grown absurd, and I don't know. I kind of wish we had better details on Trump apparently, because now we have a lot more people putting out more negative content, and it seems like some of the information that we should have had like a year and a half ago to kind of prepare for some of this moment. But I don't know. Some people have been more prepared than others. Seems that some people have been calling Trump a Zionist for a long time. I've only recently done it within like the past, I don't know, year or so. Which it's been a slow build. It hasn't been like just a complete like, yeah, he's a Zionist. It's been more like, he's doing this and that, and that's kind of weird, and I don't know if I like that. It's been a lot of that up until now, and now everybody's just kind of like, okay, mask is off. I said this last week. Mask is off. It's kind of funny how I'll say certain things, and then I'll find other, larger voices say the same thing like a few days later, and I'm just like, wish I had more people watching my channel. Hey guys, if you want to help out, you're always welcome to share the videos. I don't know what to really do at this point to help me get boosted in the algorithm. It seems like I'm completely shut down. I don't know, my videos just don't go anywhere. I can't get many people to watch. I mean, I'll have people follow and stuff like the other day. And I'm glad I do my replay episodes now. I got 2 new follows, I think, yesterday morning. So thanks for those. I'm trying to get to 300 right now. I don't like having to ask for followers or likes and stuff, but it's just kind of like if it doesn't happen naturally, I feel like I guess it makes sense why all those podcasters would just be like, yeah, if you want to like the video, go ahead and like. I hate being that guy. I really do. But if you like the video, you can. I mean, I don't know what else to do. I mean, half the time I'm looking at some of these larger profiles and I'm just like, how do you even get that many likes? Like, half the comments are just trashing you, like in the live chat. So I'm just like, how, like, is Rumble fake? Are half these platforms fake? Are we just like controlled now, like completely? I mean, it feels like the entire internet is just like run by the military. And, if we fart in the wrong direction, they come after you. So we'll talk about the cybersecurity mess a little bit later. And it looks like it already took it off my screen. I love that. I love how this thing will update randomly while I'm reading stuff on the screen. Retarded. All right, Pakistani national convicted. Yeah, we just said that. Putin's resurfaced clip blames Western elites for economic woes. Unverified screenshots claim Massey took donations from progressive donors. Yeah, there's speculation that Massey's been accepting Democrat donations. I don't know if that's true or not, but we might find it later. All right, FDA vaccines chief Vinay Prasad to step down in April. Was he just given that position like a year ago? Maybe I'm thinking of something else. U.S. issues a license that authorizes sales of Venezuelan gold. I still don't give a shit about heavy metals. I mean, they keep saying it's a way to store wealth, and I'm just like, bro, Did you not like pay attention to the massive shorting of metals like just like a month ago? I mean, I covered it on this channel. I mean, if they get shorted like that and they lose like, let's just say like 25% of their value all in a day, you just kind of sit there and you're like, I feel like all this is fake and they can just change the value anytime they want to. So how is it really a store of value if it doesn't actually keep its value? Just basic logical questions. The U.S. attack on an Iranian warship did not violate international law, experts say. It's probably referring to the attack on the Iranian ship near India. Apparently, an Iranian training vessel was going to join India for some type of training. And I guess on their return home, they get sunk by a United States vessel, I believe. This whole situation with this war is just really hard to talk about for me because I'm just like, how do we feel so inhuman to just take lives so willingly? I mean, I understand that, they see that the Iranian government is a threat and supposedly was out to try to kill Trump. We have that Pakistani that's being convicted, supposedly hired by Iran to take out President Trump. I mean, is any of that real? Is it just another, fake story? We've heard so many patsy fake sniper stories over the past year. It really wouldn't be all that hard to believe that they just planted this guy or, found an actor to play a Pakistani, shooter, whatever. I'm not saying it's not real, but I'm not saying it is real. Like, I think we gotta kind of be real about some of those things. Anyways, U.S. attack on Iranian warship did not violate. Yeah, we just said that. Judge weighs New York Times bid to block policy limiting journalists' access to Pentagon. It's supposed to be the most transparent administration ever. I mean, they were just letting in podcasters and independent journalists just a year ago. Less than a year ago. I think it was like April, May, whenever they started doing that last year. But, now it's a year later, and now we're heading back into tyranny zone. I made sure to go ahead and tag the White House and said, "You're on tyranny watch. You're on tyranny watch from the Tyranny Cider." Hell yeah. I don't know, it sounds cool in my head. Anyways, California U.S. Rep. Darrell Issa to retire in a move that raises stakes for GOP holding House control. Justice Department official eyes cases against Cuba leaders as Trump floats friendly takeover. Friendly takeover. Yeah, because, I mean, like, that's basically what you're calling the Iranian. I mean, I honestly don't even know what to call it. It's such a quick dismantlement of everything with Iran. Now, I will say this to try to give a little bit of credence towards Trump's administration. This might have been a major war in the future. There's also the possibility that Obama had enabled Iran to acquire certain materials and, continue their program. And that might be part of the actual issue of why they wanted to dismantle this whole thing. It's trying to fight a future war now before they get even more advanced technology. I hate to, even pander towards war right now with all of this. I mean, I'm truly not. Like, if you pay attention to my channel, my entire show has been anti-war. I've never really, tried to pander towards the other side, unless I saw some type of actual need for it. Now, once you start to consider all those factors and maybe even a possibility that, maybe other countries were working through Iran. There was a lot of links with the British financial system in Iran. I don't know all the details on that, but it's mentioned quite a bit by the Promethean Action Group they have a bunch of researchers that have, I guess, been digging through this stuff for a long time. Got a bunch of old people, so I hope they know what they're talking about. Hopefully they're not just trained propagandists like everyone else. All right, anyways, 2 million bond set for Cleveland mother accused of killing 2 young daughters, burying bodies in suitcases. Jeez. I don't know, every time like I hear about these stupid stories where like they get rid of bodies in weird ways, I'm just kind of like, there's other ways to like, I don't know, get rid of bodies and stuff, guys. Like, I mean, I hate to be that guy that plays too many video games, but I'm sorry, I've just played too many video games, and I feel like I know how to get rid of a body now. And I've watched Breaking Bad, so it's not like popular culture didn't train me. Seriously, though. Russia sharing intelligence with Iran to target U.S. forces, officials say. And I swear to God, if I ever like get taken into court over like false pretenses, I'm always going to blame everything in American culture, because everything about the Constitution teaches me to be anti-tyranny, anti-empire, just establishment. Like, if you actually pay attention to the Constitution, I mean, yes, it does form an establishment, but the doctrine itself is pretty anti-establishment in the sense that it is in control of the people, not the Congress. Which also leads me to a better point. We need to start thinking that way, like outside of Congress and the president. We need to start thinking about how we can actually vote as states, so we can start having some state concessions of sorts. We can come together in multitudes of states. I think it has to be like somewhere between like 21 to 23 different states. It has to be a state majority, basically. And all the states get to vote together. But if we got all the states, everyone in the state to actually vote towards certain issues, we can actually bypass Congress. So it's just something to keep in mind. And I actually want to get well versed in this. I think this is actually probably a peaceful manner of approaching this. I know there's lots of people that are on the edge of revolution right now. I totally get that. I think we need to exhaust all the peaceful options first, though, and we have not even come close to that, in my opinion. I think, like I said, we can bypass Congress and vote along with the states if we actually get the states to, come together and build a majority against both Congress and the executive. So, I mean, if we wanted to even vote against, let's just say, wars overseas, it might be a possible route. And it might be even a way to possibly get rid of Congress members. Almost like congressional members, but yeah, Congress members. Anyways, more bad news with the economy. Did I read these? Let me read these again real quick. Russia sharing intelligence with Iran to target U.S. forces, officials say. Trump says there will be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender. This is the economic news. U.S. payrolls unexpectedly fell by 92,000 in February. I'm not sure what that even means. Like, does that mean like... I honestly, like, this number right here is like throwing me off. 92,000? What does that mean, like, collectively as a nation? Like, everybody lost $92,000 this past February? Like, what does that mean? Anyways, unemployment rate rises to 4.4%. Interesting. Well, doesn't that mean that the Fed is failing their mandate right now? I mean, they don't have to uphold payroll, but they do have to uphold employment. And I think they have to keep it under 4%. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong about that. I want to say it's 4% though. Alright, mic check real quick. Mic check. Alright, we got bars moving. Gnome bypass bidding on $100 million ICE contracts, NBC reports. Bypass bidding on $100 million ICE contracts. I don't know what that means. GOP Rep. Tony Gonzalez drops re-election bid amid ethics probe into his affair with a staffer. I want to see a lot more Zionist candidates drop out. I mean, we are starting to see them lose. Dan Crenshaw, I guess, did lose his race, which is kind of strange to me. I'm just like, they start this early in the year? Crazy. All right, let's get to the content. Thomas Massie says his post transitioned. This is the first post, and it's actually this last line down here. No transgender mutilation surgery for children is what you're paying attention to. The next post, which says the same thing, but it's altered here at the end. No transgender mutilation surgery for children without express written approval of the parents. So they're still allowing it, even though the child is not of age to give consent. At least legal consent, in my opinion. Legal consent in the sense that you're an adult and you have full capability to make the decision yourself. I'm okay with that. If you're 18 and you have that full capability, I know some crazy people try to get ahead of their hormones before certain ages, but it's just kind of like, bro, we're not lowering the age or like the legal age of everything to 16. Like that changes too much. It changes too much, and we have to keep things the way they are. Like when it comes to stuff like that. Anyways, so yeah, this is actually a prediction from Nick Fuentes from October 16th, 2024. Nick Fuentes says Trump 2024, mass immigration legally, trans kids with parental consent, no new wars except with Iran, free speech except anti-Semitism, pro-life but not at the federal level, tax cuts for corporations. The most important election of our lifetime. So I guess my question would be for Nick here is, how did you know about mass immigration legally would be okay with Trump? Like, are you just going along with how AIPAC usually votes or how they usually sway certain opinions? Like, how he got some of these answers a year in advance before they started taking place is, I mean, it kind of just makes you like look at him like, are you the new Q? Are you like making predictions years in advance, bro? I mean, if he has good ways and reasons of obtaining this knowledge, I'll just go ahead and believe it. But I don't know. I think there's something kind of strange about Nick. Just my personal opinion. I'm not saying I know for a fact or anything. There are some things I do agree with, especially along the lines of Israel, and obviously controlling our government and everything else like that. When it comes to certain racial issues, though, I'm a little bit more open, and I guess, a little bit more modern in the sense of being okay with, interracial relationships. Even Nick himself says that he likes Asian girls, so, and I think he actually says that he likes them, like, in preference, like over a white girl. So it's like, even, he gives all this, pro-white arguments all the time, but at the same time, he's also arguing for the other side. Nick is this strange character that is constantly pandering to the right, but always seems like he's actually on the left. And I know some people know what I mean by that. Like, this might just be a Democrat plan. I'm not saying he is, because, I mean, there are a lot of things that I sympathize with him on now, or, empathize when it comes to how Trump is behaving within recent months and how he has come to borderline betray his entire base. And I say borderline because, there are some people that do side with Trump with all of this, especially more the Q-oriented and or Zionist and or Jewish, Anyways, let's move on from this. I want some relief from all this crap, though. I'm kind of glad it's the weekend. I think I'm just going to turn off for Saturday and Sunday. Like, what the hell is going on now? Like, I feel like at some point they're just probably going to start arresting everybody. I mean, should I feel another way? Because, like, I don't. I mean, I feel like there's going to be that point where they just start, like, trying to round people up for their views and trying to shut them down. I mean, are they going to follow through at some point? Is Trump going to betray his entire base and go after the anti-Zionist but pro-America supporters? Because we all thought it was America first. It was actually only just a few days ago that the White House was saying America first in their X post. And then I think it was like the next day we went to war with Iran. Maybe the same day. I don't know. It's just kind of wild to me. But, like I said earlier, if we were trying to prevent a future war with Iran by trying to take care of their lower capabilities now, I mean, that might be what it is. Because, the stuff was only going to get more and more advanced. And it seems as if, like, China is not giving as much aid towards Iran as we all expected them to. Seems as if Russia has decided to use the president that, I'm sorry, I said that word wrong. Precedent. I always got to say it right because I want to make sure you know what I'm talking about. Biden and Trump already set this precedent in Ukraine with basically attacking Russia via proxy using American weapons. Now we have something similar happening with Iran and the US, and there's not really much the US can argue back on besides basically just lying and trying to take advantage of the Russians. Which is sad because I was really hoping we were going to get some type of an alliance out of their new supposed friendship. But I don't know, maybe they found out quite a few things about Russia and Venezuela. And also with the sense that, now that Russia is helping Iran, that might be another reason why Trump is being more critical towards Russia. Anyways, let's move on. Mike Lee says today I'm introducing the National Constitutional Carry Act in the U.S. Senate. Americans have the right to keep and bear arms without asking permission from hostile politicians or getting jailed for crossing the wrong state line. Stay strapped. U.S. markets lost $2 trillion since Monday. Lost $2 trillion this week. Israel, U.S. regime change wish in Iran is definitely dead. CNN reporters walking around Tehran. No panic, no collapse, no uprising.
Taking a quick break for a coffee along the way. We've been driving for several hours. There's a couple of things that we've noticed. Number one is that, first of all the shops are open. All the shops are really well stocked, even with fresh things like, for instance, fruits and vegetables. Coffee, obviously, also available as well. And then also the gas stations. There's no long lines as gas stations. Fuel seems readily available, and you just don't see any sort of degree of panic anywhere. Taking a quick break for a coffee along the way. We've been driving for several hours. There's a couple of things that we've...
Highlights of the interview with Iran's Tehran Tom, Minister of Propaganda. Word has it that he's a Baghdad Bob's long-lost cousin. He says that Iran is waiting for ground invasion, that the U.S. has failed to complete their objectives.
The world saw your battleship sunk in the Indian Ocean. Dozens of Iranian sailors died. Your response was, quote, "Mark my words, the U.S. will come to bitterly regret the precedent it has set." So what is Iran going to do? And at this point, given the state of your military right now, what can you do?
Well, first of all, that was a training Navy, training ship, which was invited by the Indian Navy to take part in an exercise. And they went there as their guests, the Indians guests, and they, did participate in that exercise, and they were in their way back home, and the ship was unarmed. So attacking an unarmed ship full of, training officers and sailors is, a war crime, I have to say.
The U.S. says it controls the skies, that Iran's ballistic missile attacks have dropped more than 80%. The U.S. has hit over 2,000 Iranian targets. The Pentagon says America is winning decisively. Do you think they're wrong?
Well, I think, now 6 days after the war, it is clear that the U.S. Has failed to achieve its main goal, which was a clean, rapid victory. They failed to achieve that, and now they are trying to justify why they did attack us, and they have, presented so many different reasons, but none of them worked. And now they are talking about, Plan B, and I believe that, their Plan B would be even a bigger failure. So they are controlling our sky. But at the moment,
Minister, your supreme leader was killed. Your top military leaders were killed. Your military installations have been bombed. How can you call that a failure?
Well, then what they have achieved? What was their goal? They came here for a regime change, perhaps. They came here for a rapid victory, so they can, control everything. But they have failed. The system is working. The commanders have been replaced, and the supreme leader is going to be replaced soon, according to the procedures set by the Constitution. So everything is in order. Yes, we have been targeted, but we have also have attacked so many targets in Israel, and so many targets belongs to the Americans. Their assets, their bases, their installations in the region, and they have not been able to prevent those attacks. Our missiles are still working. Our missiles are still in place and hitting their targets in a very precise manner.
President Trump has not ruled out boots on the ground in Iran. Are you afraid of a U.S.
All right, the Trump administration launches the Patriot Act 2.0, says Natalie Morris of Redacted. We will unveil and embarrass online espionage, destructive propaganda, and influence operations and cultural subversion. Does that mean targeting civilians to do that? Like, are you going to consider me propaganda if I just speak against you? Like, if I have an alternative opinion, that opposes the government, will I be called propaganda and targeted by... I mean, it literally says, like, right here, President Trump's combats cybercrime, fraud, and schemes against American citizens. I've never felt protected by this government. I really haven't. Like, maybe, like, whenever I was, like, I don't know, a young kid, I might have, like, fooled myself to believe that. As an adult, I've never felt like the government has protected me in any type of way, shape, or form. In fact, I feel like it's been the opposite. And that's not okay. I mean, half the time, they don't even make me feel like a citizen. Like, they make me feel like they don't want me here. Like, that's how the government makes me feel. And, supposedly this country was founded by white men. Supposedly, we're supposed to be, I don't know, one of the smarter groups in the country, just because, it is our country. We created this great, beautiful country. At least I thought we did. Maybe Jews created it. Maybe I was lied to about everything. Maybe it was just Masons that did everything. And we're just like a bunch of fucking, cattle that they feed and throw in the blender every now and again and then refeed it back into McDonald's burgers. That's what it really seems like. Sorry for being a little too honest with that. When the government starts defining threats by propaganda, influence, and cultural subversion, it is not just targeting hackers, it is targeting narratives. Yeah, and I also worry that they're going to target anti-Zionist Christians, or aka real Christians. I don't know. I mean, it's getting to that weird point where, you know, Zionist Christians will be protected, but then all the other Christians will be subverted and you'll be shut down. You'll have your speech targeted. I mean, it's kind of like how I feel like I'm, you know, algorithmically shut down right now. I think they're probably going to do similar things across the board. Anyways, Ben Swan says, as the war with Iran continues on, we are beginning to see a lopsided divide between those who do not support this war and those who do. This is from yesterday.
All right, let's begin tonight with some incredible scenes out of Tehran. Explosions rocking the Iranian capital as the United States and Israel continue their largest military strikes in decades. And just hours ago, U.S. and Israeli forces dropped thousands of pounds of bombs on targets across Tehran, a city of 9 million people, leaving residents fleeing in panic and hospitals overwhelmed with the injured. And yet, the administration still insists this is not a war. But with this level of devastation, that's a hard claim to square with reality. And so is this. Tonight, more Americans will die in this war with Iran. That was the warning coming from lawmakers after a closed-door intelligence briefing from the administration. Listen.
This is as serious as it gets. This is war and peace. They told us in that room that there are going to be more Americans that are going to die. We have to have a debate in the United States Senate on an authorization of military force. It will likely fail. It will likely fail, and we shouldn't be voting to proceed to other pieces of legislation until we get a debate on this deeply unpopular, immoral, and illegal war with Iran.
The fact that lawmakers are being told that more Americans will die is stunning, and we have to ask once again, what for? What are they dying for? And how many more lives will Americans give for this war? We don't know. But we do know that U.S. Central Command says more than 50,000 troops, along with hundreds of aircraft and 2 aircraft carriers, are involved in operations across the region right now. How about some numbers here? Since the campaign began, U.S. and Israeli forces have struck nearly 2,000 targets. Iran has responded with hundreds of ballistic missiles, thousands of drones. At least 6 U.S. service members have already been killed. And now a major political shakedown is about to take place in Washington. The Senate voting today not to advance a war powers resolution, a measure which would have required President Trump to seek congressional authorization before expanding military action against Iran. Again, that resolution failed today. Even so, some members of Congress are pushing for the war to expand even further.
President Trump come up with a new operation called Simplify. Fly with Israel and go after Hezbollah, who has American blood on its hands. Not only take the mothership of Iran down, also take the proxy of Hezbollah, settle the score, even the account.
Yes, you heard it there. Senator Lindsey Graham now calling on the United States to join Israel in striking another target in the region, the Iranian-backed militant group Hezbollah in Lebanon. The idea of expanding the war is wild. Lindsey Graham was almost foaming at the mouth when he was talking about it, but one congressman, Tim Burchett, put it best.
Senator Lindsey Graham is now calling for the U.S. to start bombing Lebanon in response to the Hezbollah IDF action.
Lindsey hasn't seen a fist fight he hasn't wanted to turn into a bombing, right? So I just take it with a grain of salt, dude.
Never seen a fist fight that he didn't want to end in a bombing. It's funny. It's also true. It seems like the neocons in our government, like Lindsey Graham, have been having their way so much that they feel like they can blatantly make any demand of the president, drawing us into yet another conflict, another war that could last far longer than we expect. And the question surrounding the war we're in right now, are we prepared for that war to take a long time? Because all indications right now, we are not. President Trump is now reportedly seeking $50 billion to accelerate missile production. Unfortunately, defense contractors warn that money alone is not going to fix this problem. See, the issue isn't just funding, it's time. Take Tomahawk missiles as an example. The U.S. only has about 4,000 total. It takes 18 to 24 months to produce roughly 100. The Trump administration burned through 4 years of Tomahawks in just 4 days. We are firing missiles so much faster than they can be built, which is why the administration wants $50 billion more to build more. And then there's this video. Israeli Defense Forces releasing videos showing what they said was a successful strike on an Iranian helicopter. But look at this video. Analysts later suggested this target may not have been a real helicopter at all. It looks like it's a painting on asphalt, a decoy designed to look real from the air. Apparently it did. In other words, a multi-million-dollar missile fired at a painted image. How can you tell? Watch the video. When the bomb hits, the helicopter blades don't break. They don't even move. That's a $5 million missile hitting a $10 painting. And that's what we're watching in real time here. Tens of billions of our taxpayer dollars turned into dirt in less than a week. And that may be the most telling detail of this entire moment.
Wait, we're attacking fake targets? Is that what he's saying? Bitch. So I guess the war is fake. I guess they got everything underground. I guess it could be fake in more ways than one. I don't know, man. I just want my money back. I feel like going to like the next like city hall meeting and just being like, bro, Give me back all my money. Like, start firing all these people standing up there, and I want my money back. I'm tired of funding all of you. I don't get anything out of it. My life doesn't improve. You know, you can't make the traffic lights go any faster. Like, you know, you're not getting rid of like the fucking illegals in town. Like, traffic's not dying down. Like, my life is not getting better. Like, I'm just talking about like out in public, like, you know, what I expect from the government, basically. Which is not much. But it's like just the little things, you know? Like, I don't know, can the cops like actually go after the illegals? Like all of them? I mean, we could literally just shut down their bank accounts and they would be forced to leave. Because you can't live in this country without money. I mean, yeah, there are homeless people, but not many people will go through that anymore because they're coddled bitches. Alright, Nick Fuentes vows to vote Democrat in 2026 midterms over GOP failures. And this is actually a quick shift for Nick. He was he was actually saying that he was going to vote independent, or not at all actually, earlier this year, but now he's going as far as saying that he's voting Democrat. It just adds even more to, you know, a whole theory, which I covered this yesterday, I believe. Day before yesterday, I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, is he a Democrat? Is he just like a plant that listens to the right and he basically just gathers all the information and then he weaponizes it for Democrats? It kind of seems that way, honestly. Kind of seems like, I don't know, I kind of think that Nick is gay. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know if he is. I just know he met Glenn Greenwald at a gay club. And he's super weird and picky about women. And I'm just like, bro, you ought to just accept anybody you can, because you're probably not going to get the best thing out there. No offense, Nick. I've just seen better looking, you know, white dudes. Like, you got a strong ego, I'll give you that, you know, and it's somewhat balanced, strangely. But, you know, there also are your moments where you go overboard and, you know, you seemingly target the wrong people. I think you're starting to kind of backtrack on Tucker. I don't think Tucker really did as much to you as you blame on him. I don't even think that he attacked you all that much. I'm not even a Tucker fan, but just going off my observation, I don't think that the way that Nick treated Tucker was all that great. All right, let's move on. President Trump is demanding the U.S. Senate pass the Save America Act immediately, per Caroline Leavitt. This is from 9 hours ago.
Caroline, thank you, Caroline. The president had a July 4th deadline for the One Big Beautiful Bill. Does he see a deadline for the Save America Act, as I know that's a priority of his to get passed?
As soon as possible, I know the president would say. This is a huge priority for the president. It remains one. I know he has added on some priorities to the Save America Act in recent days, namely no transgender.
She's getting fat, man. What's this belly about? Who plugged her while she's a press secretary? I'm looking at all of you back here. I'm just kidding. None of you could get with her. How do y'all even get jobs? I'm just kidding.
Surgeries for minors. We are not going to tolerate the mutilation of young children in this country, and no men and women's sports. And the president putting all of these priorities together, it speaks to just how common sense they are. These are all common sense priorities of this president that are backed by.
Are all these people CIA? I feel like the only people that would be part of like White House press or something would just be like the CIA. Like they wouldn't even allow anybody else like close to the president or his administration. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they could just be like undercover Secret Service. I'm not saying they actually are, but I don't know. Like now I'm just kind of like looking at everything like it's fake. I'm just like, I just don't trust anything now. I don't. I'm at that weird point where I'm just like, bro, is that even a fucking mic? Are the mics fake too? Like, is all that shit even necessary? Can y'all just plug into one mic, like all of you, instead of having like 15 mics up there?
The vast majority of Americans, and he wants Republicans to act on them as quickly as possible.
Thank you.
Caroline, thank you.
Plug into the same mic. What's wrong with that? Donald Trump Jr. says, well, total commitment to one of the most important pieces of legislation to save our republic. Passed the Save American Act now, 13 hours ago. And General Paxton says, John Cornyn is a coward. Not only does he refuse to support abolishing the filibuster in this post, but he refuses to call out his best friend, Mitch McConnell, for opposing the Save America Act. Only one of us is serious about supporting President Trump. How is Mitch McConnell alive? I honestly fear for that man's health. Like, I can't believe he's still there. Like, we really need to have an age limit in Congress. We also need to have term limits. And all this shit needs to fucking happen, like, really soon, because I'm just like, I'm seriously thinking about leaving. Like, I hate to even, like, say that out loud, but I'm just like, bro, I feel like this government wants to kill us. I feel like they don't want us here. I feel like, you know... Did I say I think that they want to kill us? Because I think they want to kill us. You think I'm fucking joking? I feel like everybody's probably feeling a little bit of this way, especially after the whole Iran situation. And also just how defensive they get over the whole anti-Semitism thing. It's like, bro, South Park has been making fun of Jews for my entire life. Or however long fucking South Park's been around. I don't know if they've been around longer than me or not, but I want to say it was like mid-90s or something that South Park came out, so I feel like I'm a little bit older than South Park. But either way, like, I remember discovering South Park when I was like, I don't know, 12 or something, thinking it was the funniest damn thing in the world, and I'll tell you what, I only listened to the cuss words. I never gave a shit whenever Jews were brought up. I didn't even know what it meant, you know? Like to me, it was the same thing as making fun of a ginger, making fun of what was I about to say? I don't know, anybody's race. Like, you know, we grew up making fun of everybody's race growing up. And we grew up making fun of religion. So that included Jews. But it also included Muslims. It also included Christians. I mean, we all used to make fun of everything. And now all of a sudden, you know, it's kind of like Nick Fuentes' post earlier. It says, you can have free speech except for anti-Semitism. Which is a very vague term, by the way. Like, it's thrown out of proportion a lot of the time. And it's just kind of like, basically anything that questions Jews is what is considered anti-Semitism now. And I don't know, it's like they need to have better criteria for all of this crap. They don't need to have just weird vagueness for it all. But also too, like, just trying to stop someone's speech on something just makes them want to get louder on it. We already know this as a culture and a society, but we keep falling down the same path. Trump removes Noem from DHS, nominates Mullen amid shutdown and Iran strikes. I'll get to this in just a second. This is a short video.
Your message on Iran. Mr. President, you have a message for Vladimir Putin. Mr. President, are you going to tap the strategic oil reserve?
He's learned how to dodge the press. He's leveling up into his second year, but not in a good way. Well, I'm not watching this. Get off the screen. After Trump fired Kristi Noem, Governor Gavin Newsom is formally calling on the Trump administration to redirect the remaining funds from Noem's $220 million taxpayer-funded ad campaign to LA fire survivors. You got Governor J.B. Pritzker coming out yesterday saying, "Don't let the door hit you on the way out, Kristi Noem." It's only 20 seconds. Let's play it real quick, just for fun.
Hey, Kristi Noem, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Here's your legacy.
Bro, that's so scripted. It's so shitty. Can you not, like, get through, like, a sentence frickin' ad without, like, reading off the screen? Like, Jesus Christ, bro. I don't read off. Well, I do read off the screen. Never mind. You see what I read, though. I mean, I improvise. He's not improvising at all.
War on its own will probably take another video. Some believe the war began because of an interest in oil, while others claim it was a direct response to the 9/11 attacks. But what is especially interesting is that the war in Iraq actually started about a month after Fassbender and his team discovered the grave of Gilgamesh. According to sources, the war essentially made...
Hold up. I didn't realize there was a video down there. Let me get this on the screen. I'll actually speed it up too.
Unwrapping the Iraq war on its own will probably take another video. Some believe the war began because of an interest in oil, while others claim it was a direct response to the 9/11 attacks. But what is especially interesting is that the war in Iraq actually started about a month after Fassbender and his team discovered the grave of Gilgamesh. According to sources, the war essentially made it impossible for Fassbender and his team to get the items they discovered, so they couldn't carbon date them or make additional findings to help them understand what they were dealing with. Left with nothing they could do and need to save themselves, Fassbender and his team left the area where they had made the groundbreaking discovery and fled the country. It's easy to think that this is nothing but a myth, but consider this: every single justifiable reason why the US invaded Iraq has been proven to be false. The official line was the country had helped to plan the 9/11 attacks, but George W. Bush, the US president who started this entire thing, officially came out to say that they didn't.
What did Iraq have to do with what? The attack on the World Trade Center? Nothing. Except for it's part of, and nobody's ever suggested in this administration that Saddam Hussein ordered the attack. Iraq was the lesson of September 11th is take threats before they fully materialize, Ken. Nobody's ever suggested.
For the others who think the invasion was to stop Iraq from developing nuclear weapons and instruments of mass destruction, well, guess what? Iraq wasn't.
The main reason we went into Iraq at the time was we thought he had weapons of mass destruction. It turns out he didn't, but he had the capacity to make weapons of mass.
The only possible reason was that perhaps the government wanted to gain control of Iraq's massive oil reserves. But is that really a good enough reason to start a war that decimated a region and left it perpetually in flux? What if there was some other reason for this? What if there was something the US government really wanted to achieve in Iraq? Well, leaked emails to Hillary Clinton, a woman who, in case you forgot, has spent most of her adult life in government and even ran for president twice, shows that the powers that be just might have had a reason to keep this discovery a secret.
Now, you can see here, it says, this is from Denitra Senegar. That's who it's from. This is to Hillary Clinton. Important for context. And then it says, well, you can read it there. Can you see what it says? I mean, requesting documents pertaining to the resurrection chamber of Gilgamesh, the location of his body, and the location of the buried Nephilim.
Want to know what's even weirder? Witnesses claimed that the military immediately set up an encampment around the grave of Gilgamesh as soon as they landed in Iraq. They reportedly sent reporters and locals out of the region and pretty much overran the entire area.
Okay, so basically some of the conspiracy here is that we went into Iraq for some of this. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's some stuff like this in Iran. I mean, the countries are right next to each other. I'm not saying there is, but the weirdness of how fast we went into Iran, it kind of begs the question, you know, what was the urgency or sense of urgency? There have been lots of stories like this pop up on X the past, I don't know, year or so, at least that I've noticed, where you'll have all these conspiracies of, you know, the giants or the Nephilim being underground in the Middle East. And now we have these different tombs of them. And Hillary Clinton was interested in finding Nimrod or Gilgamesh, different, you know, famous gods of different religions, Babylonian, Canaanite, etc. All right. All right, let's get to the next thingy. What was I about to do? Oh, yeah. Get this off the screen. Let's press the wrong button. Tomb of Gilgamesh. Located in what is now Iraq within the region of Mesopotamia. So that's correct. I'm going to add to this. And are there any similar places like this in Iran? Since I'm talking to an AI, it will answer me. Chamber of Gilgamesh, often referred to as his tomb, is a legendary site described in the Epic of Gilgamesh, where the king is said to have been buried beneath the Euphrates River after it parted during his death. However, no archaeological evidence confirms the existence of such a tomb, and the claim that it was discovered in 2003 near the dried-up Euphrates riverbed in Iraq has been widely dismissed by archaeologists as unfounded. 2003. Weren't we in Iraq then? I feel like we were. The BBC reported on the discovery at the time, citing German-led research using ground-penetrating radar, but the subsequent analysis and academic consensus indicate that the findings were misinterpreted or exaggerated. The structures identified were likely ancient ruins of Uruk, not a tomb of Gilgamesh. How do you know the difference? There are no known sites in Iran that match the description of Gilgamesh's chamber. However, Golestan Palace in Tehran, Iran, is a historically significant site recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 2013. While it is not related to Gilgamesh or Sumerian mythology, it is a symbol of Persian architectural and cultural heritage. The palace located in the heart of Tehran. Is that weird shaped building? I don't know. Let's see. Let me ask this question. Giant or Nephilim burials in Iran. There is no credible archaeological evidence of giant or Nephilim burials in Iran. Such discoveries are largely based on internet hoaxes, misinterpretations. What is this? Giant jar burials. Real archaeological findings in Iran include Parthian-era urn-like tombs discovered in Al-Vaz and Isfahan. These are giant earthen jars used for burial, not evidence of giants. They were part of known cultural practice and date to the Parthian period, not prehistoric or mythical times. Nephilim and giants. References to Nephilim from biblical texts or ancient giants in Iran are not supported by scientific archaeology. Okay, well, I won't even get into the rest then. Some elongated skulls found in Iran. Really? Studied and are attributed to cultural cranial deformation, not giant humanoids. Really? I've never heard about that in Iran. That's kind of interesting. But no real such evidence in what looks like anything online. Words. Giants, Nephilim, or Iran. Alright, well, I'm going to move on from this.
Well, there's nothing extraordinary about what I did. There's nothing mysterious about what I did. I did my job as a senator. I'm very fond of the secretary. I congratulated her at the hearing, and I was sincere in my congratulations about executing the president's policy in securing the southern border. I have been concerned, though, as have other senators, who have chosen not to speak out. I've been concerned about the fact that we have managerial problems at the department for a while that are distracting from the president's and our agenda. Well, there's nothing.
What's your agenda?
About what I did. There's nothing mysterious about what I did. I did my job as a senator.
Hell, I don't even know what the agenda is anymore. If I don't see some real results real soon, I don't know what the agenda is. And if things get worse, then I kind of feel like that's the agenda. So you guys really got to get better about your messaging, how you do everything. I mean, we're all just like sitting here with our hands up, just kind of like, what the hell is going on half the time? I would like to know more. I just don't feel like we're getting good messaging, and you know, we get the positive spin of everything, but we don't get the truth. Like, I don't know, it would be kind of nice if we had someone just gave us the dirt truth on some things. Like, is there a guy in the government for that? I'm not sure I would trust him, but I mean, at the same time, it would be nice if somebody just gave us the dirty truth. I don't want it to be Bongino, please.
Some witnesses also claim that the military began excavating items from the site, moving them to an undisclosed location. And besides all this, reports of the discovery of Gilgamesh's grave were pretty much wiped off the internet. It was basically like this thing never existed. To be fair, this might all seem a bit extreme, but there's definitely a lot of overlap. As for why the government might be interested in Gilgamesh and his grave, there's also a bit of a theory. Corey Good, an independent investigator and YouTuber, claimed that the government and other members of the global elite might be looking to carry out DNA tests on Gilgamesh's corpse, as well as the other corpses found in the tomb. In an episode of Cosmic Disclosure that has now been deleted, Good claimed that there are several stasis chambers around the world where these giants are pretty much kept. No one knows if governments around the world are using these chambers as a way of preserving the bodies for the purpose of conducting these tests, but it sure won't be out of the ordinary to find that out. Now you might...
This sounds like so similar to the story of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, the Indiana Jones game that I've been playing lately. I kind of wish that I played this video on the same night that I played that game, but we're going to play Destiny tonight. Ugh. Oh, we live in such crazy times. I can't believe I'm even talking about this shit. Like, I was kind of like going on into the more secular spirituality boat there for a little while. And it wasn't until a lot of this weird shit with, I don't know, Israel and I don't know, just different things along with biblical stories, I guess, that made me kind of reconsider a lot of things spiritually. I mean, but also too, I think it is good for children to kind of grow up with some of those stories. I think, you know, I think some of these characters kind of help teach the stories in different ways. I mean, they might not be the prettiest looking people or characters, but you know, they do tell stories in different ways, and they do teach morality in weird ways, even though the stories will be completely weird and messed up. But anyways, I'm lingering. I kind of want to move on from that. It kind of seems like a conspiracy story, but if you guys want to go watch the rest of that video, there's like a minute left on it. I just want to move on. Alright, the Texas City cop learns a lesson that he can't take our equipment or keep us from filming a public meeting. Oh yeah. I'm not gonna play all this.
We're recording public comment. Do not do that. Do not touch my equipment. Okay, I'll tell you what, put it back up here. We're not doing that.
You're going to be disruptive. We'll ask you to leave.
Okay, try it. Tell me to leave. You want to arrest me? You want to arrest me?
I don't understand what's really going on here, but for some reason the cop doesn't want him to have his own mic on the stand. I'm not really sure what that's about. I don't know if you can't record or use your own recordings in that room, but it is kind of interesting. But this goes on for a little while.
If the mic is right here, I'm putting a microphone on so we can hear public.
As you can kind of see, it doesn't really get anywhere.
Do not touch it.
Gonna go and skip.
Taxpayers' equipment. Whose equipment is this?
Minute and a half later.
It belongs to the taxpayers.
Don't damage it. Be disrupted. Gonna ask you to leave.
Would you like this? No, it's not right what you're doing. It's bullshit. No.
Now you are stepping.
Okay, Gregory, you're throwing me out? Okay, I'm not.
Okay, that's getting kind of ridiculous. I actually kind of blame the journalist a little bit. He could have been a little bit more, I don't know, accepting with what they're trying to say, but I don't know. Like, why do you have to have that weird mic to begin with? Like, why can't you, like, wear, like, a shirt mic or something a little bit, more inconspicuous? Anyways, moving on. How did you even get that in there? Like, if it's such a big deal. That's what's strange to me. I'm just like, if it's such a big deal, how did it get past the door? Anyways. Hexath asked about Russia helping Iran to target Americans.
Does this put U.S. personnel in any more danger than they otherwise would be?
Well,
the Russian involvement.
No one's putting us in danger. We're putting the other guys in danger. That's our job. So we're not concerned about that. We mitigate it as we need to. Our commanders factor all of this, but the only ones that need to be worried right now are Iranians that think they're going to live.
Does this put U.S. personnel in any more danger than they otherwise would be?
Well,
the Russian involvement.
No one's putting us in
The objective was a fast, quick win. We take them out, they say, Uncle, we put in a new government. It's just like Venezuela. Well, as a lot of people warned, it's not going like Venezuela, and even Venezuela probably won't go like Venezuela. But put this first clip on. This is Hedge, which has a good sort of roundup of what's going on in support of the thesis, which I think we both share, Dr. Paul, which is this war is expanding. It's getting out of control. The destruction is far beyond what we were told we'd be seeing. And so here's Zero Hedge, Iran war going more international as EU ratchets responds. Tehran's missile cities a threat. Trump told Axios in an interview Thursday he needs to be personally involved in selecting Iran's next leader, just as he was in Venezuela. Delusional. At least 1,230 Iranians have been killed since Saturday in actions increasingly described as a regime change operation as the war widens into Lebanon. Gulf targets pounded, and even Azerbaijan sees first Iranian drone strike. Now, you will not see this on Fox News, and in fact, with the censorship of the Israeli government, you won't even see it on X because they are arresting people, but there are a couple that got through. If you can, we're going to do two. The first two are Tel Aviv, but then the last one is Tehran, which also got hit really hard. But watch this. These are two interceptors you're seeing on the right. They're up there to try to take out this missile, which evaded and hit Tel Aviv. Let's watch this for just a second. Evades. Let's do that second one. This isn't supposed to happen. The Iron Dome is supposed to stop these. Let's hit that second video, and then we'll do the third right after. Sorry for this long section, Dr. Paul. This is another one. This is Tel Aviv taking a hard hit. Dr. Paul, there was some serious carpet bombing. If we can just do that third one really quick. Serious carpet bombing of Tehran. It looked to be almost indiscriminate. Looks like they're trying to turn it into a Gaza. Let's just watch a little bit of this. It's apocalyptic, Dr. Paul. That's a city of 11 million residents. So anyway, we don't have to watch more of it just to know that this war is not going as it's being portrayed on the U.S. television.
Yeah, this idea, well, this is just going to last a couple of weeks. But they never have to eat their words. It seems like they get away with it. It takes about 10 or 20 years of this. People say, well, enough is enough. Bring the troops home. But I just wished we had the facilities and the support for altering this course. But it's been bad. It's certainly not what was designed for us by our Constitution and declaring our independence, not to be able to go this many miles away.
As Tehran's getting pummeled, Iran is cutting off oil supplies to Israel. It's either destroyed or damaged every U.S. base in the region, and our carrier groups are pulling further and further out. So things are happening that the media is not really reporting on. Polling is showing an absolute decline. This is a recent national poll by Interactive Polls. President Trump's approval rating is down to 35%, the lowest rating of his term. Only 3 in 10 approve of the strikes on Iran. Less than 25% would approve of boots on the ground in Iran. So the American public is definitely not for this war, and they're increasingly turning sour on President Trump.
The United States is on the edge of a radical collapse. So that is superpower, hyperpower, that is collapsing. That is agony of it. And we need to understand that well. We should not be hypnotized by the real situation in the United States. They are in very, very bad situation. And hence, they radical and extremist actions. So they have the problem with Epstein elite. They have the problem with economy. They have the great problem with the state of the moral United States. This is decaying society in the last stage of decay. So we need to follow that. We need to understand that. We need to study it. We need to have the correct, realistic understanding of what is going on in the United States of America outside of their propaganda, and maybe outside of our own propaganda. So we have to have a very correct, realistic understanding of American society, because from that depends almost everything in the world. So we need to try to reach the people of real MAGA, the core MAGA, who share with us our general ideological, geopolitical, metaphysical vision of multipolarity. Because the MAGA accepted multipolarity. Trump has betrayed MAGA and has thrown away multipolarity, has declared the war to multipolarity. So, but not MAGA. So we need to follow people like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Alex Jones, Andrew Neapolitano, Larry Johnson, Jackson Hinkle, and great, absolutely great, King.com, that we should invite next time for our conference. He is very great. So we need to reach to these non-conformist MAGA people in the United States who have a very similar vision of what are the real priority: to save America, to save the world, to save the West, to save the East, and so on. So we have immense amount of our friends in the United States of America. MAGA movement has made a rise of them. They help to them to reappear and to become important influencers, important power inside of American society. Now they are leading anti-Israeli line, and that coincides geopolitically with our vision of things. So
it has become extremely serious from an Indian point of view. You see, this ship has been sunk in waters which are the search and rescue area of Sri Lanka in the Indian Ocean. And we were alarmed when we heard that a Chinese submarine was operating in this area. Now an American submarine comes and sinks an Iranian warship 370 kilometers from Kanyakumari. The foreign minister of Sri Lanka has just briefed parliament and said 180 were on board and over 100 are feared killed. 30 are seriously injured. But most importantly, I think we can't afford to be too blasé and look the other way on it, because this ship was our guest. And if anybody in Ministry of External Affairs or the Government of India wants to downplay this, they can call me and tell me why they want anyone to downplay it. How can you downplay it? This is our guest. They were invited by us for the International Fleet Review. And the Indian Navy chief personally met the commander of this ship. And now it's been sunk. Where is the strategic partnership we are supposed to have with the United States of America? Are they not aware how this will embarrass us? Are they not aware about how this will embarrass us, Ambassador Deepak Vora, or do they not care?
Right. Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be with you. I just heard the two generals, and I'm sure that I'm going to hear our other colleague. So what are you going to do about it? The fellow came here. You heard the press conference of the American Defense Secretary, reeks of arrogance, and his Chairman Joint Chiefs of Staff, the Air Force General. You hurt us, hurt American lives, take American lives, we'll hunt you down wherever you are in the world. We have the capability to do it. So this guy comes because he's participating in the fleet review before the war broke out. After it started, the Israelis and the Americans said very clearly that every Iranian asset, military asset, is fair game for us. What if they send all their ships off to Iraq or to South Africa or whatever remains? What would the Americans do? Say, no, these guys are our friends, we won't do it. No, sir. There's nothing in international law that prohibits the Americans from hitting an enemy vessel that is in international waters. Now, the impact on us, certainly. We're going to take it up diplomatically and say, you shouldn't have done this. Should have waited for these jokers to come out a little further away from Sri Lanka. You could have sunk them then. The argument that they were our guests and you sunk them doesn't hold. What if they had gone 400 kilometers, 500 kilometers away from us? Then they would have been sunk and we would be dancing? No, sir.
So okay, so let me take you up on that. This frigate is returning after naval exercises in Visakhapatnam. They are India's guest. The Americans keep saying we want to have a great strategic relationship with India, right? But I can also argue that you deliberately wait for this ship to be closest to Indian waters and then sink it. Now, you may say, no, it's not, it's accidental, it's timing. It happened to just be off Sri Lankan waters, right? But what about the sphere of influence, Saurabh? Are we going to say that we are going to give up the Indian Ocean as a sphere of influence? Are we going to say, let there be a free-for-all here? Today off the southern coast, tomorrow off the western coast? Will we be mute witness to whatever happens?
So what do you expect us to do?
No, not what do I expect. Not what I expect. I'm saying that. I'm saying here. No. Because Deepak Vora said, what do you expect? I expect that a country that keeps talking about a strategic.
I expect us to show our displeasure.
Sir, General Bakshi sir, can I come in, sir?
Yes, sir.
Well, we just had an important series of votes on the House floor. As you know, the War Powers Resolution failed. That is the right result. We are not at war. We have no intention of being at war. The President and the Department of Defense have made this very clear. The Department of War has made it very clear. This is a limited operation. It's an operation that's limited in its scope and duration. It has a very clear mission, and that mission is nearly accomplished by all estimates. We are taking down Iran's ballistic missile capability, its stockpile, and its ability to produce more. They were doing that at a scale and a speed that was more than our regional allies could keep up with, and it was a serious and imminent threat to the United States. We don't need to relitigate all that today, but also we wanted to take down the capability of their Navy, and all of that has been very successful. So this needs to continue. It would have been a very dangerous gambit to take the Commander-in-Chief's ability away to complete this mission. It would have been a very serious misstep by Congress, and I'm grateful that resolution failed.
Okay, sorry. I was eating my dinner in the background. I didn't want to munch on my food in front of everybody. Red Trumper says, if you have any doubt about how much we are hated and the appetite for many countries to take us down, China first in line, just listen to Chain Ryan as she warned us in 2019.
Just when you thought the cabal was waving that white flag, think again. There's a secret war waging right now, and it's targeting the heart of Western sovereignty. Let's talk about the Chagos Islands. Never heard of them? Well, don't worry. Neither has most of America, save for the geography class of your average homeschooler. But what happened in the early morning hours on May 22 was a remarkable glimpse into the secret world war happening right this very moment. You see, in the middle of the Indian Ocean lies a place named Diego Garcia. It's a tiny island among the Chagos Islands, housing a critical US-UK military base. This is no ordinary outpost. It's a linchpin for American and British power projection. And the UK, under Prime Minister Keir Starmer, was about to hand it over to Mauritius. Yes, Mauritius, a key proxy of China. On May 22, Starmer's government was about to sign an agreement to surrender the Chagos Islands to Mauritius. The UK would then pay billions, potentially $12 billion up front and up to $40 billion over a 99-year lease, just to keep leasing the base that's already there. And guess what? Since the US relies on Diego Garcia, your tax dollars could be funneled to this Chinese proxy too. Not only is this a problematic situation, it's a national security risk. Talk about a huge win for Chinese spying efforts. So why would the UK do this? Because the United Nations told them to. Back in 2019, the UN's International Court of Justice ruled that Britain must return the Chagos Islands to Mauritius, quote, as rapidly as possible, in the name of so-called decolonization. And Starmer, the UK's answer to Jimmy Carter, saluted and said, aye, aye, UN. Never mind that the UK has controlled these islands since 1815, or that they were barely inhabited until the 20th century. But let's cut to the chase. Mauritius is in China's pocket. That's really what's at issue here. Handing over Diego Garcia and the Chagos Islands isn't about honoring some island tribe. It's about giving communist China a strategic foothold in the Indian Ocean. And who's pulling the strings? Well, it's the UN's International Court of Justice, run by 5 nations: the US, the UK, Russia, France, and, surprise, surprise, China. Enter Judge Xu Hangqing, a Chinese government hand-picked operative and former ambassador who played a starring role in crafting that 2019 ruling ordering the UK to give all this back to Mauritius. Decolonization? Please. This is China weaponizing the UN to dismantle Western dominance, and the UK is rolling over like a spineless lapdog. Keep in mind, the Chagos Islands were largely uninhabited when the British Empire inherited them. It was a sleepy speck of dirt until the UK built the military base in the 60s. Mauritians, of course, started making noise, and 50 years later, the UN swoops in with its Chinese judge to play hero. That the islands belonged to the Mauritians and that the UK should just give it back. But here's the issue. Mauritius's unquestionable ties to China mean they belong to China. This handover isn't about decolonization and honoring the sovereignty of a bunch of Hut tribes. It's about China outmaneuvering the West in a global chess game. Thankfully, there's a glimmer of hope. At the 11th hour, a UK court stepped in and temporarily blocked the transfer, just hours before it was supposed to happen. But don't pop the champagne yet. This is a temporary reprieve, and the globalists are relentless. They're waging a war on sovereignty, and Diego Garcia is just one battleground. China's leading the charge, using the UN as their battering ram to strip the modern world of the power to choose their own destiny. And this is the world war no one's talking about. It's not fought as much with tanks or missiles anymore. It's fought in backroom deals, UN courtrooms, and globalist sellouts like Keir Starmer.
Well, I guess I'm going to play it all. Anyways, I mean, I had it on 1.5 speed, so went by pretty quick. DD Geopolitics DD Geopolitics. Keep stuttering my words tonight. The State Department has approved a $151.8 million emergency sale of ammunition to Israel, bypassing Congress entirely. The sale includes 12,000 blue 110A/B general purpose 1,000-pound bomb bodies. Rubio declared an emergency requiring immediate sale, waiving congressional review requirements under the Arms Export Control Act. Yeah, baby. Going around Congress.
The US campaign against Iran is not just notable for the volume of strikes. Munitions analysts say America is showcasing new variants, first-time deployments, and lessons drawn from recent wars. I discussed 3 things of note with one expert.
The first footage was of Tomahawk land attack cruise missiles being fired from U.S. destroyers. The interesting thing about Tomahawk is that there was 1 or 2 pictures showing something unique, though, which was a Tomahawk that appeared to have sort of a black coating on it, which is something that we have not seen before. There were also videos taken of Tomahawks flying over Iran, showing their wings swept forward, which is not the typical configuration of the wings on the Tomahawk cruise missile. So those 2 things indicated that there may be some, at least 1 or 2 new variants of the Tomahawk missile. And for me, the more interesting one is the black one, which indicates that it may be sort of a low observable variant. It's the same kind of coating that we see on a different American cruise missile called the Long Range Anti-Ship Missile, LRASM. And it has that black coating to make it less visible to any radars.
And this was also a first.
The Precision Strike Missiles, that's a new aeroballistic ground-launched missile, and there was 1 picture published by CENTCOM showing that missile being fired from a HIMARS somewhere in the Middle East. So that was quite notable for me as somebody that tracks that program quite closely. That was notable to see that's being deployed for the very first time, because it's fairly new. The United States Army has probably only received about 80 of those missiles to date from the manufacturer, so they've evidently elected to use that for the first time.
This analyst says there are plenty of lessons learned from the Ukraine conflict that are being applied to what we're seeing unfolding in Iran.
As far as the ballistic missile defense goes, specifically around Patriot, the United States Army continues to learn a lot of lessons from the Ukrainian experience. They train the Ukrainians to use Patriot, and in some ways the Ukrainians are sort of the foremost experts now because they have had so much experience dealing with Russian ballistic missile threats. Obviously, American Patriot crews now are getting a lot of experience of their own dealing with the Iranians, but there's a lot of lessons learned sort of in both directions now at this point. But the United States has definitely been better prepared to deal with what's coming out of Iran because of the fact that they're operating Patriot, and a lot of lessons learned come back from that. In another respect, when we look at the Shaheds, using the UAE as an example, the last figures I saw from their Ministry of Defense were that basically all the missiles were being intercepted, but the few leaks that they've had have been the Shaheds. So, as I've been saying, this is kind of interestingly sort of the weak point, even though it's the lowest cost, lowest tech weapon that the Iranians have due to the mass and just the fact that sometimes having a small, simple system can more easily slip through the cracks of an integrated air and missile defense network that's more focused on those higher-end ballistic threats. That's somewhere where I think the United States and allies still need to do some work and learning from the tactics that the Ukrainians have adopted to more effectively deal with that threat.
It's clear Operation Epic Fury has involved several firsts. As it unfolds, we may well see other examples of new variants and new approaches.
And I give it a 12 to a 15. Their army is gone. They're just about, look, their navy is gone. Their communications are gone. Their leaders are gone. 2 sets of their leaders are gone. They're down to their 3rd set. Their air force is wiped out entirely. Think of it. They have 32 ships. All 32 are at the bottom of the ocean. Other than that, they're doing very well, Coach. Very well. We're doing, our military is doing phenomenally. That's the big thing for this week. We seem to have a new thing every week, but the situation with a very bad and very sick group of leaders who were killing a lot of people. A lot of our people said I'd give it a 12 to a 15.
It looks like it's over. The regime that swore it would burn the entire Middle East to the ground, the regime that boasted it would close the Strait of Hormuz to inflict pain upon the entire world, that vowed to rain down missiles on every American base from Kuwait to Bahrain, that regime just reportedly sent a secret message to the CIA begging for mercy. After years of opportunities and off-ramps, they're now crawling to the table, groveling. And you know what President Trump just said? too late. Start with the latest on that secret message. According to the New York Times, operatives from Iran's Ministry of Intelligence reached out to the CIA through a third country's intelligence service to explore possible conditions for ending the war. So, of course, this contradicts the public face of Iran. The leaders of that regime, or what's left of the regime, have been defiant. But apparently, behind closed doors, the intelligence ministry, the regime's inner circle, has been secretly reaching out to the very agency that ironically helped pinpoint Khamenei's compound. Now, when Trump found out that Iran was indeed signaling it wanted to talk, he didn't respond with diplomacy. He didn't send Witkoff on a plane. He posted on Truth Social, their Air Force, their defense, their Navy, their leadership, it's all gone. They want to talk. I said, too late. Now, that is textbook escalation strategy, okay? You see, in any high-stakes negotiations, the side that's the first to blink, the side that's the first to formally propose concrete concessions, signals that they have lost the leverage game. In other words, the side that blinks first loses any and all leverage, and that's because why compromise when the other side is already demonstrably conceding? Once you've signaled weakness by making the first concession, the other side knows you're at your breaking point, and they can wait you out even further. And that's precisely what President Trump appears to be doing here. But it gets even worse, because then just hours after that story broke, Iran's deputy foreign minister went on Sky News Arabia and said, and this is the quote from Sky News, Iran is ready to abandon its nuclear program on condition that the United States presents a satisfactory alternative offer. Now, immediately, Iranian officials said that his comments were taken out of context, that he was talking about the earlier negotiations with Witkoff and Kushner, that there are no new proposals on the table. But needless to say, that backpedaling is being met with quite the dose of skepticism. It's just a total coincidence, of course, that the deputy foreign minister made those comments on day 6 of Operation Epic Fury, while Iran's military infrastructure is being systematically obliterated. I mean, it's just a coincidence that this came hours after the secret CIA back channel was reported on and exposed. Trump himself commented on it and, of course, dismissed it, saying too late. So I think it's safe to say that these talking points are more an admission that this is a regime signaling surrender. Let me give you some of the numbers here because they're absolutely staggering. According to U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, as of this week, Iran's ballistic missile launches are down 86% from the first day of fighting. Their one-way attack drone launches are down 73%. The IDF has reported destroying 300 Iranian missile launchers since the conflict began, which corresponds to a 70% drop in
the federal trial of a Pakistani man, prosecutors accuse him of plotting to assassinate American political leaders, including President Trump. He says Iran was behind it all. Alexis McAdams is outside the Brooklyn Federal Courthouse in New York City. Alexis.
Hi, Harris. Yeah, an interesting case that really not a lot of viewers knew about when it happened in 2024 because President Trump was out on the campaign trail and there was so much going on and so many other threats. But that's when police say Asif Merchant came here from Pakistan because he says Iranian leadership told him to, said hunt down President Trump, hire a couple of guys that can take him out at a political rally. So take a look here on your screen. This is who we're talking about. He's sitting there inside of that Brooklyn Federal Courthouse right now as those closing arguments are underway. 47 years old. He's facing federal terrorism charges and could spend the rest of his life behind bars. Merchant testified, Harris, in his own federal trial, and he explained this, making this drawing again that he said Iranian leaders gave him back in 2024. Really doesn't look like there's much to it. It looks like, you know, like a kid drew it or something, but that's the sketch of a rally site. Merchant was arrested just one day before Trump was shot in Butler, Pennsylvania. And
What?
he later told the feds that he believed Iran
That's the dumbest
was
drawing
behind
I've ever
that attack
seen.
because it was so similar to the plan that they gave him. Kind of get up in an elevated place, go to a rally,
You're
and create all this
retarded.
chaos so the gunman can get away. Merchant says Iran wants...
I feel sorry for Fox hiring that lady. Wow. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to make you feel any dumber than you probably already do after that video. At least I feel that way for you.
Do you think eventually there will be a need for boots on the ground?
I would not exclude it for those reasons or other, but we'll have to see how it
Dildo reasons? What did he say? Let's try that one more time.
Do you think eventually there will be a need for boots on the ground?
I would not exclude it for those reasons or other, but we'll have to see how it goes.
Dildo reasons. Okay, guys, I think we've had enough news for today.
Eventually, there'll be a need for boots on the ground.
I would not exclude it for those reasons or other, but we'll have to see how it goes forward.
And will that include Israeli boots on the ground, do you think?
I exclude nothing. We've been waiting for 47 years, and we came to a point that every necessary means should be taken in order to achieve our goals.
What we're seeing from
Russia sharing intelligence with Iran to target U.S. forces, officials say. Glenn Greenwald mocked the whole situation over that, understandably. Trump says there will be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender. Something bad just happened. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, just blocked withdrawals. Investors tried to pull $1.2 billion from its $26 billion private credit fund. BlackRock said no and capped withdrawals at 5%. Nearly half the investors who wanted out were denied their money. Crazy! At the same time, Blackstone faced record withdrawals and had to inject $400 million of its own cash. When the biggest funds on Earth start limiting withdrawals, it is a major warning sign for the entire $1.8 trillion private credit market.
Ian, good to speak to you again.
Mario, good to see you too.
Maybe that's before I get into specific questions. What do you make of what's happening when you do these analysis on your channel? So what's your analysis of the developments up to today?
It is couldn't be more different from what you and I have talked about on Venezuela, right? And of course, I mean, Trump launched these attacks in part because he was so confident with how well it went in Venezuela. He got the leader out, he put him in jail. He's got a new government that he can work with. No negative economic consequences. In fact, lots of economic opportunities on the back of it. Positive domestic sentiment at home. Positive regional sentiment in Latin America. People that want to work with him more on going out, things like that. I mean, on every single one of those aspects, it's not going the way he wants right now in Iran. And so, the war is, and by the way, people are all asking me, he's got all of these different reasons why he's going to war, and he's not coherent, he's not cohesive. He had plenty of reasons for Venezuela too. He had plenty of reasons for tariffs. He was giving as many reasons as people asked him questions. But because it went so well at the beginning of this year, nobody really cared if there were lots of different reasons. But when it doesn't go so well, suddenly you dig into, well, why is he doing this? How are we going to get out of it? Like, what's the end plan? Like, what's the declaration of victory look like? And the more he doubles down and digs in to, I've got to be in charge, it's got to be a regime that I'm in favor of, there's unconditional surrender, when, that doesn't look plausible, at least today, it gets a lot more challenging. So,
here's a particularly candid and honestly kind of articulate clip from a couple of years ago. This is from August of 2020.
We're about to start the game, guys.
Joseph Misrach, describing how Israel should take advantage of a then ongoing conflict with Iran, much less intense than the current conflict we're seeing with Iran, to destroy the Dome of the Rock in Al-Aqsa. Watch this.
If it was up to me, the last time when they shot hundreds of missiles, I would pretend that one missile came from Iran and shoot it down. Then all the Arabs will go against Iran, and it will be the end of the problems. You make them fight with each other, this bunch of lunatics. Never too late, you deal with a bunch of cowards.
Shoot it down into the Dome of the Rock in Al-Aqsa. Destroy what's on what the Israelis call the Temple Mount, on the foundation stone, destroy it, and blame the Iranians. And that has the effect, as you just heard him say, of turning our enemies against each other. Turning our enemies against each other. Although they've refused to recognize it for quite some time, the Europeans are the enemies, the mortal enemies of the Israelis. That's the Israeli perspective. obviously. Look at the effects. And so, if that were to happen in this conflict, it's not the Israelis who would bear the brunt of it. It's the Europeans, it's the Canadians, it's the Australians, and it's us. And it's the Russians. 20% of Russia is Muslim. All of those countries would be in for serious turmoil and bloodshed, and maybe already this shortly into the war.
Follow it up with this, and we'll go ahead and jump into the game.
Tucker has now declared that Chabad, that is the Jewish organization most famous for their telethon and also their warm approach to Jewish outreach. Chabad was responsible for the war in Iran and was also seeking to destroy the Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is, I'm sorry, totally insane. I mean, there are no levels to describe how that is. That is so crazy. That is clinically insane. That's like, put that dude in a straitjacket nuts. Chabad basically exists so that Jews who are interested in Judaism have a place to go to shul, to synagogue. They're the people who stand around at public events. You'll sometimes see them with phylacteries, asking Jews if they wrapped tefillin that day. They drive around with cars labeled mitzvah tanks. Their actual philosophy, by the way, on the rebuilding of the Third Temple is that the Third Temple is rebuilt by acts of loving kindness. I'm not even kidding. That's what they say. And Tucker basically just slandered Chabad. Again, I'm in a state of shock. It is hard to shock me when it comes to the levels to which Tucker Carlson goes, because he has been an ever-degrading show. But slandering Chabad as basically Hamas, well, actually worse than Hamas, since Tucker actually thinks Hamas isn't really a terror group, this is legitimately psychotic stuff. I mean, psychotic break insanity.
Times like this, it kind of makes you wonder, as you're pushed up against the wall of tyranny, what does the voice within tell you to do? I don't know. I can't be the only one to motivate people, though. You gotta motivate yourself, too. Sometimes you gotta just do what your heart tells you to do. Don't listen to me. Listen to you. Don't do anything stupid. Do the right thing. For the love of God, save your fucking country. Or at least try to save yourself by trying to save your country. You gotta be selfish about it. Alright. I don't know, this looks kind of interesting, but at the same time it looks kind of nasty, and I don't know if I want to get into it. Ritualistic sexual abuse of Israeli minister's daughter continues. It sounds kind of gross. It's from Candace Owens. This was Project Monarch, a precursor to MK Ultra. The real science that we imported to America via Operation Paperclip. They abused kids to create mind-controlled slaves, learn the true history of what was going on with Sigmund Freud and the psychologists in Vienna. Sigmund Freud was, a weirdo. Super duper weirdo. Early psychology was all weird, though. But yeah, Freud was always weird. I've never really liked Freud. I was more of a young guy, which, Jung's not perfect either. He's got some weird views here and there, but not near as bad as Freud. But, yeah, lots of good psychology. I like more modern psychology, more science-based, actually. That's what I should say. Science-based. Alright, let's get into this game. I don't want to get into that. You guys can go watch it if you want to, but I don't feel like it. There's lots of news that I can cover, surprisingly. I thought I didn't have enough content for today. Apparently I had too much. That's okay. That's okay. Alright, let's start this game. Take your time. It's been extra slow tonight. Everything's public. Go back to where I was at. There we go. Fly away! Just sitting there. Okay. Run out, Neptune. I don't want to turn it up.
Rohan always says, battles are won with strength, but wars are won. Ready
I don't
to take on
care.
the baddies? You got it.
Getting a gun. Oh, so that's not the mission. This is the right one, right? Hold up. Wasn't it flashing? Where's the map at? Isn't that over there? Is it not down there somewhere? Strider's Gate. Okay, let me just check that thing. Where'd it go? Is that the one I'm looking for? I don't think that's the same one. Is it up there? Am I retarded for wanting to go over here to like look for this thing? Why should it not even be over here? I mean, it doesn't even show me that anything is even over there, so I think the map is wrong.
Rohan always says, battles are won with strength, but wars are won with brains. Lucky for all of us, you have both. Yeah.
I'm gonna hope this is it. Took out like all of them with it. I almost missed it. That actually worked. I didn't think I was gonna get it there. Hey, how do I get up there? Oh. Ow! I'll get up there. Oh, I gotta... Am I jumping on that thing? Shit. Stop it. I think I am. Oh wait, no I'm not. I knew that. I was like, where are they at? Oh, fuck. Oh, he's over here now. He come down here. Why do you keep going back up there? Doesn't really hurt, bro. Whoa, what the fuck? I don't know how I was supposed to block that. I mean, he knocked me off the fucking edge. What am I supposed to do? Bitch got mad. Decided to fucking rage quit. Oh, I gotta go all the way back over here. Alright, I won't play with him this time. I was just like being calm and collected. I wasn't even like trying all that hard. He decided to be a bitch. Oh, come on. I made it the first time. Bro. Why can I make it now? How did I make it the first time? Bro. There we go. I just had to believe. See, now I ain't playing around. Open up. One more. Whoa! Oh, thought I fell off for a second. I need to do that more. killed him. How did it disappear? Look at him.
Every moment wasted brings us that much closer to calamity. This defense relay thing is taking a bit more work than I thought. It hasn't been turned on since the Ishtar days. Will it still work? With the Ephesus Legion routed, it may be our last line of defense. Sounds like someone's coming around to the untested Ishtar weapon.
I'm just taking in the sights real quick.
Keep the turrets under our control. They're vital to our defense.
Do I turn them on somehow? Okay. Hold up 1 second. I want to check my weapons. Thought I got a new gun. Was it too? Oh yeah. How many more I got? Helmet mods. I just got a pulse rifle upgrade, so I kind of want to use one. This. Not it. Oh shit, I didn't mean to go that direction. Okay, good. shit.
Shadow Legion cowards, this is Empress Kyat, the true sovereign of the Cabal. You've chosen to ally yourself with a gutless traitor worshipping a false god. We are Cabal. We eat the mountains. We drink the seas. If any shred of honor left, then at least give us the pleasure of a worthy battle.
They die so damn quick. Alright, this gun's getting on my nerves. Got a tank anywhere? There you go. How did I know? Oh, shit. Shit. Damn, I forgot they kill you in one hit.
Shadow Legion cowards, this is Empress Kaiser, a true sovereign of the Cabal. You've chosen to ally yourself with a gutless traitor worshipping a false god. We are Cabal. We eat the mountains, we drink the seas. And a shred of honor can at least give us the pleasure of a worthy battle.
I'm gonna stay up here. No real reason to go down there. I was just trying to give myself some challenge earlier. And then that motherfucker killed me in one shot. Do the song real quick. I forgot I could do that. Oh, I didn't see this down there either. Damn, dude. I'm not even using half the toys that I had. I didn't know I had it. How did I fucking know? Gotta watch out. Spawned up right behind me. I gotta watch out for that thing. Got him. Got him. Why doesn't that recharge me? What are those things for? Oh shit, look who it is. Man, I killed him quick. I just killed him. Oh. Where'd it go? No way. I got it. Yeah. Oh, he's following me. Don't go me, you bitch. You're dead. Where are we going? okay, bro?
Leave the Emperor to me.
Must reach the veil before the Shadow Legion. Whatever you must to prevent the leak.
Will Keitel be okay?
I have a feeling she can take care of herself. Empress Keitel is buying you time to find the veil before the Shadow Legion. Don't squander this opportunity. According to Neo Mutant lore, the veil is deep beneath the ground, like way deep. Whatever you find in there, just keep going downward. We're keeping an eye on the surface. Keitel's holding off Callus for now, but he's outnumbered.
I just thought about. Give me just a second, yeah. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I'll turn this stuff off. It just helps the game run a little bit smoother. Alright, back to the game.
Osiris, I'm sending you a visual feed. We could use your help navigating this.
Incredible. Just like the archive on Venus. You should be able to access that Ishtar terminal like any other.
What terminal? I swear if I had a jetpack, that's all I would use to get anywhere. Whoa. What?
Strange. How to describe it? It almost gives me the same feeling as
This game is like one endless acid trip. Alright, on a new song. Am I jumping in that thing? Can I get over there? Is that glass? Oh, it's all glass. Okay. On that case. That was weird. Ow. Am I going this way? Wishy.
I held them off as long as I could. Callus is coming for you. It's in your hands now, Guardian. Give him the end he deserves. I'm reading major shockwaves in the vault. The Emperor's smashing through that place. Hurry, Guardian. They'll get them before you.
I was supposed to go on that. Yep. No way. Well, now I feel dumb. I want to restart. Where'd you come from? No! Oh, that was close. Whoa. Damn, they were hitting me in the air. I kinda wanted to restart anyways. I didn't realize he was gonna be immune at the very beginning of the battle, which made me waste that first shot. Nobody told me shit, so. Whatever. Dude, that took out like 1/3 of his health. That's how important it was. Shoot him! What the fuck? Why is he not shooting? That was weird. Die! Why is he not dying? Wasted like 3 or 4 clips on that dude. No way! Let me go, what the fuck? Now there's 2 of them? Damn. That was kind of delayed. I was already like getting away and he like grabbed me randomly. Oh. That was weird. What the fuck is hitting me? What the fuck? Get on the ground! I didn't jump. Like randomly fell on the fucking... Die. green thing! What the fuck? I could have got back up if it gave me the green thing. Or I could like pull myself back up. Come on, bitch. Turn around. How fast I'm killing this time. You dead. You next. Oh, how do you get behind that? Get away from me! Fucking spawner right next to me. Get on out. I'm almost dead. Okay. As long as I can land. Dude, what the fuck? Shit's pissing me off, bro. Did he die already? What the fucking hell? I'm totally transformed. Get rid of that guy. ASAP. What the fuck? That was close. My fucking god, dude. There we go. You stop knocking me the fuck around, you piece of shit. Blood. Dude, don't fucking miss right now. What the fuck? You at? Already. Alright. Thank you. I can focus on this guy. Can you reload already? What the hell, bro? Yeah. Where the fuck is he? I'm already out. Where's my other gun at? Got him. Hell yeah.
Every city in America got its own drama lately. At least no tigers jumping out the trees. No king cobra chilling in your jeans. Monkeys stealing phones, that's my daily scene. But your criminals just as wild, sorry in between. Yeah.
No more.
I'm 10,000 miles away. Still trying to make you smile today. Even though we both know
I believe it when I see it for myself.
Sorry, baby. Sorry, baby. Clocking at 9 p.m. Y'all just finished dinner. My name's Jessica today. Tomorrow I'm Jennifer. You screaming by the 3 times. Coupon that don't apply. I'm nodding on mute, staring at the ceiling fan high. You say send it to the CEO, ma'am. I am the struggle. I'm reading the same scripts since 2 as a levy, still juggling. You want a supervisor? He's asleep and hot about while you cursing me out for some socks that never arrived. Meanwhile, back home, power cut, mosquitoes feasting. But I keep a smile, keep the accent breezy. Cause rent gotta pay, mommy need medicine. So I sweet talk your rage for 8 hours, no resting. I wish I could reach to the phone, give you a hug.
Rest now.
But the system says good, and the system don't love. I said, I'm sorry you missed your Amazon package, baby. I'm so sorry. Sorry your DoorDash called and your ring cam lazy. It's crazy, baby. Same move, somewhere safe, but the crime rate crazy. Everywhere late, every city in America got its own drama. No tigers, no snakes, no monkeys from the trees. You call me a scammer, girl, I'm in the cubicle, not a yacht. I make a grand a year. You mad about a robot, you threatened to cancel. Go ahead, I still get paid. Your refund denied, my quota still getting made. I done heard every curse word and 12X is strong. You cry about packages, I cry when the rock is gone. But I keep it professional, almost like honey and ghee. While inside I'm dancing bigger every time you say, let me speak to somebody above me, please. One day I'm a quit. You could take it one way, I'm in a JFK. I'm sorry you missed your Amazon package, baby. Last time, I'm sorry your life feel like a war zone lately. So crazy, baby. Be glad no tiger chasing you down the street, but your street's still wild. That's real, no defeating. I'm far overseas, still blowing kisses through the phone. Make a strange smile even when they scream and moan. This call may be recorded, but my heart is on the line. Sorry, baby. Next time, order on time. Thank you for calling. Come in. Have a wonderful day. What was left of any wave? Namaste, bitches. Namaste, bitches.
One day I'm gonna find out the story to this game. I still have no clue what's going on. Can you shut up? How do I get past this? Just shut up and move on. I couldn't even hear him, so I was just like, whatever. Legacy gear? Ooh, combat bow. I haven't had one of those in a while. Is there another one? What is that? A sword. I want a combat bow. Those are actually pretty fun in this game for some reason. I don't know why. I don't even think it's that powerful, but I kind of want it. What is that? Rocket launcher? Auto rifle. Legendary. Sniper rifle, legendary. Am I buying this shit? I thought he was giving it to me. Hold on, I want to get out of here. I might be buying this shit, I don't even know. I thought you were giving it to me. So you were like deducting my credits that entire time? That's some shit. What am I even doing here? Am I going somewhere? Guess so. Depending if I wanted to keep going or not. If the next mission is short, I'll keep going. But it's probably not, so. Why can't I hover? Lame.
Sorry. The traveler is gone. But always still here. They seem small. It's no less important than the circumstances. Despite your triumphs against the former emperor, the witness has transformed the traveler and gone somewhere we cannot follow. Losses are no stranger to any of us. And I have long since known that the world does not obey laws of poetic justice. Much as you might hope otherwise. It would be easy to look at the sky and falter. We cannot. We must take the time.
You're boring the shit out of me. Let's go.
Neptune is the best and only direction we have. Work with the Cloud Strikers. Learn what you can. Step at a time. An inch at a time. With or without the trap.
Do I gotta buy this or something? Scared me, man. Jeez. Got everything. Where'd everything go? Only got a few more. Fuck it, let's do it. I don't even think I had to go to space, did I? Well, I went to space anyways. Oh yeah, so they did it all right here. Dummy. I could get some people in here. It won't let me. Women of Destiny? That's funny. So I can pick like certain gamers? That's kind of weird. I feel like everybody would be like lying about each other. I don't need them. I can do it without them. I kind of wish I would like find them in the background while I'm playing. He used to do that. I don't know why it doesn't do that anymore. That was the best way to do it. Holy shit. I didn't even realize all this stuff was here. I don't know what that is, but I'm getting it. I can't afford anything now. So many of them. Sounds crazy. I don't know. I'm just picking one. I gotta talk to this thing again. Are you still talking to me, bro? Can you shut up and... Are you done? I don't want to keep talking to it. Am I done here? I guess so. You're not Nimbus.
Is gone, and the Veil is safe for now. I don't really know what victory looks like going forward, but I'm not going to take this win from us. From Neil Luna. It's weird not being the rookie anymore. I'm just a Cloud Strider Nimbus. Feels wrong. Think I jumped out a window without my floor. There was confidence in knowing the buck stuff with someone else. Rohan, when I met him at least, it seemed like he just took everything in stride. It was easy for him. I guess I'll get there someday. We're having Rohan induction into the Hall of Heroes today. Will you join us? It'll be great. Quinn will say something stuffy. There'll be lots of cheering. Maybe a whistle if you want to get spicy. But I think he'd be honored if you were there.
That looks nice. It's shit. I don't even want it. Oh yeah. Still got the best one. Yeah, I've been needing to get rid of those for a long time. Apparently, I never changed my bracelet. I really don't. That's not good. Try this guy out. Something new. Pulse rifle. Just a pulse rifle. Not a pulse rifle. Trying to make some space. Time to get rid of the cheap guns. I want good shit only. There's too many guns. Good shit only. Where am I going? I'm down there.
Looking good, pal. Can't wait to see what you do with this.
Am I done? I don't even know. Just gonna go to orbit. I might be done for the night. I don't know yet. Did I already finish all the quests? It's not showing up. Does that mean I don't have it yet? I might not have that expansion, I don't know. Maybe I don't have it. Gotta go to some ceremony.
Cloud Strider. He cut his years short so that the whole far into the future.
Today we suffer, so tomorrow can live on.
Is that it? Is that really it? New step. Nimbus visited. That was dumb. Please have more than that.
Hey, these files are mislabeled. What jerk would... Oh. Well, you found me. This is the day job. Chief Archivist Quinn Ligari. Librarian to the stars. The sabotage thing is just a side gig. And I am grateful for all your skullduggery, by the way. My day job is a lot more filing. Anyway, this is where I'd usually show you around, maybe buy you a drink, but I got an eensy-weensy crisis. Let me just... What? No! Do not core dump! Dumb machine! Okay. Why don't you take a look around while I get to a good stopping point?
I'm Jisoo Colorado, reporting for Neomuna Civil News. Cloud Strider Nimbus reports that recent cloud arc fluctuations are the result of new security measures to guard against intrusion. The Cloud Strider
I don't know where I'm going. Visit Nimbus. Oh, wait. I guess I'll just go to his usual spot. I mean... It's not saying I need to go that direction. I guess so.
Hey, Guardian. Induction ceremony wrap up all right? The citizens did a good job improvising. Traditionally, both Cloud Striders are there for the final handoff, but Rohan wasn't here, so... And if he were, he wouldn't be moaning about the past. He'd be too busy cracking open the veil, jumping through the portal, and knocking the witness back on its multiple asses. You know, the Vex were working on a copycat veil. Oh yeah, Rohan stumbled on it in the Nexus years ago. It was half finished then, but he was convinced that the Vex had the goods on the original. Goods we'd need one day. Just think, we wrestled the Veil's secrets out of the Vex and we're one step closer to kicking down the witness's door. But first, we gotta track down Rohan's notes. So, what do you say? Help me follow in the big guy's footsteps?
Sure, just hurry up. Doesn't even look like I can get anything. Now what? I just gotta go fight Vex, I guess. I don't know. I think I'm done for the night. I think I'm tapped out. I'm pretty tired. Anyways, appreciate everybody that did stop by tonight. If anybody stopped by, can you freaking... I'm gonna click that. Jeez. Yeah, anyways. If you liked tonight's video, go ahead and like. If you're new to the channel, please follow. I'll see you next week. Have a good night.